Hello guys, and welcome back to another monotype run in Gen 1 Blue on the Retrobrown channel. Today we are doing a grass type run, so only using grass type Pokemon. Let's see if we can actually beat the game. Now, reason why I'm enjoying doing this in Gen 1 is because we've got such limited amounts of Pokemon to work with. We're going to go with Lycan for the rival today, one of my subscribers, Lycan dear. Yeah, reason why I'm enjoying these runs in Gen 1 is because we have so little to work with, and that makes it interesting to me. I see loads of other YouTubers doing this in like Gen 9, Gen 8, doing their monotype runs and their Nuzlockes and such. I don't really see many people doing it in Gen 1 and other earlier generations, and I just find it really interesting that no one really has done this, or at least that I've found. So yeah. Let's do a grass type run. It came up on the wheel. I'm going to go with Bulbasaur for the start because it is actually a grass type, so we can use it. I'm going to go with Bulbafett for the name, and we'll see how we do against the first rival battle. Our level cap until we beat Brock is now level 14, and it also means there's no other Pokemon we can catch until after Brock as well. Because on the routes leading up to Pewter City, you can only really find Bug Pokemon, normal type Pokemon, flying type Pokemon, electric if you count Pikachu, and poison type Pokemon. So there's literally no other types of Pokemon we can catch on this first route. Viridian Forest. Bulbasaur's all we got to work with, but to be honest, considering I've already done the solo run with Bulbasaur, I know that this is actually very possible to do well before the level cap. Main thing we need to do though is get through Viridian Forest, and that's because we're against a load of bug type Pokemon and we don't get Vine Whip until level 13. That means until then we've got to rely on Leech Seed and Tackle, which to be fair, for an early game, not a bad moveset whatsoever. We can move ourselves over to the Light Years trainer in Pewter City, and we've actually got a bit of a problem here. His Diglett actually does a lot of damage and we don't deal enough out. Leech Seed only gets us back 1 HP per hit, and I really did the wrong strategy here going for Growl, trying to reduce that attack, because Diglett's got good base speed, and in Gen 1, good base speed means you can get a lot of crits. So it doesn't matter how much we reduce down its attack, it's quite likely it's going to get a critical hit and just power through that. So pretty much what we got to do, if we can beat that Diglett, the Sandshrew, if we can get seeded, well, to be fair, we need to be high levels in all honesty. The Light Years trainer is more annoying than he is difficult, and you just need to be the right sort of level to be able to get past him. We go into level 13 and we pick up Vine Whip. Now this shows how good this move is in the early game, especially in Kanto. 2 Vine Whips takes down the Sandshrew, and you know what, I'm just going to use a potion here straight away, and we'll go straight into the Brock fight. Now we've got Vine Whip, we're pretty much going to one-shot his Pokemon. Pretty much we're going to one-shot him. So, we'll just switch Vine Whip over for Tackle, and there's Geodude. Oh my god, I can't get my words out today. Geodude goes down in 1 hit, and so does Onix, which means we've got the Boulder Badge, and our level cap now increases up to level 21, which is the level of Starmie over at Misty. Now we actually have a bit of a problem against some of the trainers onto the right of Pewter. We go against this Ekans trainer here, we Leech Seed, and we get kind of, yeah, we get the rap strats on us. We don't really get too many chances to attack, but we managed to get through because of Leech Seed. This is how good of a move it is, and to be fair, I'm probably going to keep this move all the way into the late game. And it's just kind of annoying how many of these bug catchers there are. Ideally what I want to be doing is getting through to Mount Moon as soon as possible. But at levels, you might actually see, I'm level 17. Bulbasaur actually evolves at level 16. Because I do so many solo runs, I'm mashing B, making sure I can get through like the text as quick as possible, and because I don't allow Pokemon to evolve when I'm on solo runs. So that's kind of ingrained into me, and I actually do make a mistake there. So we went up to level 17 instead, meaning we had to get up another level before we could even evolve our Bulbasaur. And now we have Ivysaur on the team, We've already got an evolved member of the team before we get our second. But that brings us on to Mount Moon. This is why I wanted to get to Mount Moon as quick as possible. In Mount Moon we can pick up Parrot, the bug grass type Pokemon, which has about 2 or 3 4x weaknesses. Now you might be thinking that's an awful Pokemon, but you might see throughout the rest of this run, we're going to call it Mushy. Mushy, yeah. We'll call it Mushy, is it? Because it's a mushroom. Mushy actually comes through really, really good in this run. I didn't actually realise how good Paris and Parasect actually are. I mean, level 14 we get Stun Spore, which means we've got a good move to move forward into Cerulean City. And it's only after Cerulean City before we'll get our 3rd team member. Now, I am playing on Pokémon Blue, which does mean that there are going to be some version-locked Pokémon on this. The version-locked Pokémon on this are going to be Oddish, because that is a red exclusive. You can't get that in Pokémon Blue. And I can't remember if you can get it via trades, but it's not something that I went out of my way to look for. Into the Super Nerd before we can pick up the fossil. We're not actually going to need the fossil on this run like we did in the last one, because we don't need any rock-type Pokemon or water-type Pokemon in this run. They're inferior types, and we are going to power through with our superior grass types. So, we do actually get down to really low HP, and this is why doing runs where you've actually got multiple team members is pretty good, because you can switch out, you can rotate your team, meaning that you can still get hit, you can still get experience from each battle, each Pokemon that you beat, and we pick up the Helix fossil, move on to Cerulean. And there's a couple of things I like to do in Cerulean. So, considering we are a grass type team, it actually might be worth our time to go against Misty straight away. Now, there's one big problem before Misty, and that's this trainer here. She has a Goldeen that has Peck. Now, Peck is a flying type move, and as you see there on Mushy, it is a very powerful move at this early game. But switching into Bulb Effect, we use Vine Whip, take it down, and it gives us our opportunity to go against Misty. I have gone and healed there, you might not have seen. So, we're against Staryu. If we can get that Stun Spore off, it puts us in a good position, we can then outspeed. Also gives them a chance to not hit us. But there's another interesting thing about the AI. Because we are grass type, water type moves don't do very much damage, meaning they will only use Tackle. It means Mushy gets taken down, unfortunately, but we can bring in Bulb Effect and Vine Whip our way through the rest of this fight. Actually a very easy fight when you've got 2 Pokemon. Very easy fight. Especially when you've got Vine Whip on your moveset. Yeah. We didn't have any problem with that. And this puts our level cap up to 24. Which is the height of Lieutenant Surge's team with his Raichu. Now, we always have the rival on Nugget Bridge, and the Nugget Bridge rival, it's one of the harder ones in the game. I would say Nugget Bridge is a hard one, Silphco's hard rival fight, and the final champion fight, of course, are very difficult battles. But Mushy is really pulling his weight here. He's just scratching his way through that Pidgeotto. Brings us on to Abra, who doesn't have any attacking moves, so that means it is a free battle for us. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to Leech Seed and get our HP back over both Pokemon. Actually works in our favour, this, because that means that mid-fight we can completely restore our HP. And considering I do not on my runs, in any of my runs, you can't heal during battle using items, and that includes your status effect, your HP, or your PP. Cannot do that in the middle of the battle. That's one of my rules. And that means that Leech Seed is technically allowed, because it's a fighting move. We move on to the Rattata, and we get it paralysed, which is a good position to be in, because we're on 4 HP with Mushy, and we've got a Charmander to deal with next. So if I can get a Stun Spore off here, which unfortunately we can't, which just Bulbasaur against Charmander, we get the Leech Seed off, but Ember does big damage. But we're just going to start trickling away at its HP because of Leech Seed. And he keeps just going for Leah. If he kept going for Ember, they would have won there. So Lycandeer, unfortunately, you lose this fight, and we can move on to Nugget Bridge. After we've completed Nugget Bridge, we can pick up our newest team member. In this patch of grass just above the daycare, you can find a Bellsprout, one of the Virgin exclusive Pokemon on Pokemon Blue. You remember when I said Oddish was the red exclusive? Bellsprout is the blue exclusive. So that means when we can actually find one that wants to take a bit of damage and we don't kill it first time, and are poisoned and wrapped. This means, flipping heck, how long is this battle going on for? Really doesn't want to get into the ball. Okay, now we find, I'm just going to go for it. Mushi is going to go down, and we have to bring out Bulba Fett in order to catch our third team member. And I've already decided on what name I'm going to go for this Bellsprout. We finally catch him, and I'm going to call him Fleshlight, because I am mentally a child, and this is funny to me. You watch me get flagged by YouTube just for this, like, be funny. Either way, we can move on to the SSN, and we can pick up a few TMs now we're progressing through the game. On the SSN, we can pick up my favourite TM, which of course, say it with me, is TM. Oh, is it TM28? TM08? Oh my god, I've forgotten what number it is. Either way, it's Body Slam, and we've only got one of the three. Actually, no, we've got two of our Pokemon here which can actually learn it. It's TM08. I'll have to keep that committed to memory. Either way, we're going to teach this to Mushi because Bulba Fett's actually got some. Actually, no, wait. Later on, Mushi gets some great moves. I'm going to teach it to Bulba Fett. So we can get rid of Tackle, and we've got a fantastic moveset on our Ivysaur. This brings us on to the next Lycandeer battle. And first up is Pidgeotto versus Bellsprout. So we're going to get the Pidgeottos to sleep. We're going to use Rap Strats. And I would rather keep it asleep and use Rap Strats than poison it. We get it down to half HP. I mean, we are only level 19. It's a Pidgeotto. That lets us bring Mushi out. And I have also taught Dig to Mushi. Meaning when it comes to the likes of Surge, we've got a very super effective move that we can use against it. This Pidgeotto is a nightmare because of Sand Attack. So we're going to have to switch back into Bulbasaur, Ivysaur, and we can use our new move, Body Slam. Kadabra is out next, it's very defensively weak, and we're level 24, so we're right at the level cap for Ivysaur. We cannot get up another level, otherwise we cannot use it in battle until we've beaten the next gym, and that causes a problem. We do not want to over level because otherwise we lose team members for fights. Meaning we're going to have to rely on Fleshlight to get us through these trainer battles so we can actually find the bloody switches to get through to Surge and increase that level cap. Which is not going in our favour because both Mushi and Bulba Fett are both at level 24 now, so we've got to make sure we don't level up anymore. Otherwise we're going to have a real problem, and ideally I don't want Mushi to over level because, oh, we actually want him to evolve though. Level 24, Paris evolves into Parasect. Meaning, we've got an even bigger tank on our team. Yeah, we don't want him to overlevel because Mushi is the one that I actually need for this fight. We are going to start with Fleshlight though, just see if we can take down one of his Pokemon at least with Mushi. Cut. You know, it's not a great move, but we needed a TM, someone to learn the TM, and out of all the Pokemon, Bellsprout was the most open for a move slot, but we managed to take down two of his Pokemon just with Fleshlight. So we can get rid of Poison Powder now. I'm going to teach Poison moves on other Pokemon later on, and as long as we can get a Sleep Powder in, we're in a good position. Sleep Powder hits the Raichu and we can start cutting away at it. It's going to be about an 8-hit KO here. We need to keep it asleep, but unfortunately we get Thunderbolt, and that means we have to bring in Mushi. But because we're on the final Pokemon, we don't have to worry about that level cap. One dig gets us the fight, and we get the Thunder Badge, increasing our level cap from 24 all the way up to level 29, which is Vileplume's level at Erika's gym. Now we have a bit of a problem here as we're going towards Rock Tunnel. We have the Rapping Lass, and she is very annoying. If you don't outspeed her, and you don't get her to sleep or anything like that, you have a real problem against her because her Bellsprouts love to spam Rap. Thankfully, our Bellsprout can outspeed them, and can outspeed the Odysseus, meaning we can get the Sleep Powders off, cut our way through the weeds, and we can finally make our way through to Rock Tunnel. Now, Rock Tunnel is not going to be a problem whatsoever. The biggest worries in there are going to be the Exploding Hiker, and considering we've got a full grass team, yeah, he's not actually going to be a problem whatsoever. Really not going to be a problem whatsoever. And finally beating the Rapping Lass, we evolve Bellsprout into Weeping Bell. Our team is looking stacked right now. It's still going to be a while before we get our next team member, so we've only got 3 to work with for the time being. But it's a strong team. It is definitely a strong team. One thing I'm finding with all of these rival fights, this Pidgeotto is definitely going to be a nightmare as we move into the later stages of the game. It's not got the most powerful moves until it gets Sky Attack right at the final fight, but Wing Attack still does a lot of damage, and Pidgeotto's attack's not bad. So we're going to have to switch on into Mushi because we've been sand attacked way too many times. We need to get a status effect on it, and we need to start dealing some damage to take it down. So we have learned Leech Life, which is it's not a great bug type move, but it's a bit more variation, especially when poison types and grass types come out, so we can actually recover a little bit of HP. It's also good for when the psychic types come out, which means when Execute comes out, it's 4 times weak to bug. It annoyingly hypnotizes us, putting us to sleep, and we're going to have to either wait this out or we're going to have to switch Pokemon here. He hits us 4 times, we stay asleep, and he just keeps going for Barrage, which is annoying because it just takes ages to do the animation, really. We wake up and get put straight back to sleep. Oh, get me to Celadon where I can invest in some vitamins. I need some Carbos here to make all of these Pokemon speedy. It's one thing I found with all the Grass-type Pokemon. Their speed is very mediocre. There's not exactly a really fast Grass type in Gen 1. So yeah, unfortunately Mushi just gets whittled down all the way to 5 HP. And I decide finally it's time to switch. Fleshlight is out. And we get straight away put to sleep. I hate this Execute. Overfed is out. And we get put straight to sleep. All my Pokemon are asleep right now because of this stupid bundle of eggs. Oh, man. I hate this Execute so much. And it's just going to keep using Barrage. And what's more annoying about Gen 1 compared to other generations, the opponent's Pokemon do not have a PP limit. They can use a move indefinitely, meaning they can PP stall us, but we can't PowerPoint stall them. Not a great situation to be in. And yeah, we just keep getting barraged by this Execute. It keeps going for so long, and finally Bulbafett wakes up. We get a body slam in, we paralyze, and we are back on the offensive here. Leech Seed evades because it's a grass type Pokemon. We can't Leech Seed another grass type Pokemon. That's another mechanic in Gen 1. If a move is the same, if a Pokemon is the same type as the move you're using, likes of a burn, a paralysis, all of that will not hit. Gyarados is a really scary Pokemon, and we are asleep. We have managed to get a Leech Seed off before Bulbafett fell, but we are taking a lot of damage from the bite. We can get it to sleep ourselves. It goes for a Leer, and Sleep Powder hits, meaning we have now got a chance to actually win this fight. We need to get some HP back because we have a Charmeleon coming up in the back, and I am quite scared for it. So, Cut has been a good move in this fight. He goes for a potion, but he is still asleep, meaning one more cut will take down the Gyarados. We have managed to get 62 health back out of our 73. We level up to 26, and we're onto the Kadabra. Now, if this Kadabra uses Confusion on us, we will probably lose. But it's very defensively weak, so 2 cuts will take it out, and thankfully all it did was go for Teleport. Apparently it's not a very smart Kadabra. Charmeleon is next. As long as we can get it to sleep, we can win this. We hit the Sleep Powder. We start cutting. Come on, Fleshlight, you can do this. What a weird thing to say on the internet. Come on. No, it's woken up. No! 4 HP! 4 HP left. We can get it back to sleep. We cut and take the win. Fleshlight comes through for us in the last moments. That was a very hard fight. And I'm starting to realise that I may be underleveled for this point in the game with having just 3 Pokemon. Well, we can't increase that level cap until we've been to Celadon. So we're going to go and pick up a couple of Leaf Stones because we'll need them for some evolutions later. I'm not going to use the Leaf Stone on Weeping Bell yet though. Reason why? Because we've got some level up moves that we need to get that Victory Bell can't get. So for now, Weeping Bell will not be leveled up using the Leaf Stone, and we can go against Erika. Now our lead in this fight is going to be Mushi. Because it is a grass bug, all they're going to do is use Poison Powder on us. So what we can do, we can use Leech Life, do big damage on the Victory Bell because it's 4 times weak. Yeah, in Gen 1, Bug and Poison are weak to each other. So a Grass Poison type is actually 4 times weak to Bug type move. And there's not really any good Bug type moves in Gen 1. Leech Life is probably the best one, and then you've got Twin Needle, which is only exclusive to Beedrill. But we can't use Beedrill because we're on the Grass type run, not the Bug type run. So, getting through to the second Pokemon, Mushi is poisoned, and we need to get past this Tangler, so we need to Stun Spore it so it's slower than us, and then we can start using Leech Life, get our HP back, and start dealing big damage. It's only 2 times weak to Bug type move because it's a pure Grass type. And that, you know what, that actually might help us out later down the line. Epic foreshadowing. Okay, Leech Life is doing big damage to the Tangler. We take it down, and Mushi is sweeping through this fight, regardless of the ailments it has on it. We're through to Vileplume. If we can get the Stun Spore off here, we'll be Gucci. Stun Spore hits, meaning we now outspeed. Leech Life would be a good choice, but you know what? I'm going to use Dig in this instance. It's doing alright damage. Petal Dance is going to hurt. Actually, that's not hurting anywhere near as much as I thought it would. Leech Life is doing a lot more than Dig. I don't think anyone's ever said that on YouTube before. And Leech Life takes us out for the win. Mushi has just one-shotted Erika, the Grass type, and we have proved that we are the best Grass type trainer in Kanto. So, give me that rainbow badge and go back to your flowers because we are moving on with a level cap of 43. We pick up Double Edge down in the Rocket Corner, and we're going to move on to Giovanni, considering we've got a pretty good matchup for all of his team. Yeah, I've got no worries at this fight whatsoever. We're going to Leech Seed that Onyx, get a little bit of HP back. Oh, misclick there on Leech Seed again, and unfortunately Bind hits. So, we're just going to have to wait. It's like a worse wrap, this one, really. Leech Seed is just going to keep us healthy, and pretty much there's no difference in HP happening apart from on Onyx's side here. When we're finally out with the Bind, we're going to just get rid of it with Vine Whip. You know, let's just sweep. Let's Vine Whip the Rhyhorn. And that brings us on to the Kangaskhan. So Kangaskhan is a normal type Pokemon, quite bulky. We don't really have a super effective move against him, but he just goes for Rage. Meaning we can use Poison Powder, we can use Leech Seed, and we're going to deal him out more damage than he can do to us. As long as we don't attack him directly, to be fair. And, annoyingly, he's used a Guard Spec there, which is why Poison Powder wasn't working. Okay, so let's switch it up. We're going to go for Body Slam, which we're just going to go for the win on this fight. His Rage is building though, so it's getting kind of scary. We've got 18 HP to work with, and we get taken out by Rage. That hasn't happened many times before, I'll tell you that. But we've got 2 Pokemon in the back, meaning this is still going to be our fight. Rage is actually doing a lot of HP here. We get it to sleep, and Leech Seed finishes off the Kangaskhan. You know what? I really should not have struggled with Giovanni as much as I did there. We need to go and find our new team members, because we're not really too high leveled, and we've got big gyms coming up. Next 2 gyms coming up, of course, we have Sabrina and we have Koga. But before we do that, we're actually going to go take a quick stop in Saffron, pick up the TM29 Psychic, and then head straight for the Safari Corner over in Fuchsia City, because our next 2 team members are going to be around here somewhere. No, not a Venonat. We're talking about not a Nidorino. I forget how long it takes to find these Pokemon, to be fair. When we finally find the catch we're looking for, we find an Execute, the Grass Psychic type. And this is going to be a tank of a Pokemon for us. It is going to be one of our MVPs. It is such a good Pokemon in Gen 1. That Grass Psychic type is unique. And we bring Execute to the team. And you know what? Because of what I'm actually planning for its moveset, I'm going to aptly name this Pokemon Nuke. Now, if you are very aware with Executes and Executor's movesets, you will understand what this means. I'm going to use a Leaf Stone straight away because all the moves that we actually want for Execute can be learned via TM. We bring Executor to the team, and you know what? It might be worth us going to find our last team member pretty soon, but I don't think it's gonna. We're gonna have to wait a few more gyms before we can do that. We teach Psychic straight away, and we've got a tank of a Pokemon here. It's got Hypnosis, Reflect, Barrage, Psychic. Even at this level, I feel like we've got a good team to go straight against Koga, even though he's got Pokemon in the 40s. Let's see how we do. And of course, we're going to be leading with our Mushi. You might have thought I was going to say Executor there. No, we're going to go with Mushi starting off with. So we're going to spawn now. We've got up to level 32. We've learnt the best sleep-inducing move in the entire game. And we can leech life our HP back. This is what I meant about Poison-type Pokemon being weak to Bug-type Pokemon. Yeah, Mushi is really coming into his own. It's a fantastic Pokemon. I really didn't realise how good Parasect actually was. So, when we've got Leech Life there, we can keep our HP up, but of course we've been poisoned, so we are running against the clock. There are no moves in Gen 1 which can cure status effects, so we're going to have to make sure that we put them to sleep, we Leech Life to keep our HP up, or we use Dig to do bigger damage. I'm opting to try and stall them out as much as possible with Leech Life. There's a lot of benefits to keeping Leech Life on our Parasect for the entirety of this run. And just for keeping our HP up and chipping away when they're asleep, it's a pretty deadly combo really. Spore Leech Life. So even though we were very down on health, we've managed to get back up to 54. We're on to his third Pokemon already, using just a Mushi who was very under level compared to them. We Spore the Coffin and we're on 17 HP before the poison damage, so we can Leech Life again, get our HP back up. This is pretty much one of my key strategies in this entire run. And it actually is going to take Mushi all the way to our final battle in this Koga fight, which of course is his level 43 Weezing. Now, the Weezing might outspeed us, which would be a problem. If it outspeeds us, then pretty much we're going to have to switch to a new Pokemon. Now, one thing you might have noticed so far in this run, we actually haven't used any Badge Boost glitching moves. We've got all the way up to Koga without using any Badge Boost glitching moves, which is pretty damn good, I think. We're going to move into Bulb Effect, we're going to get a Leech Seed off, and thankfully Toxic doesn't hit because we're a Poison type. So we're going to go for a Body Slam. If we can get the Paralysis Leech Seed, that puts us in the best position whatsoever. But there's another thing about Koga's mechanics that is quite funny. His Weezing has Self-Destruct, meaning if he uses Self-Destruct, he pretty much loses the fight. And in a lot of my solo runs, you might see that he actually does do that. So, we've switched into Flashlight. Cut is going to do very menial damage. And we're just letting Leech Seed do its work. It's a fantastic move. But it's actually only available on the Bulbasaur line in Gen 1. Ooh, Sludge takes us out in one. Wow. You know what? Bulbafett, let's put you in. Toxic is not going to do anything to us. Can we get a Body Slam win? Oh, Sludge. Oh, wow. This battle went south fairly fast. We're on our final Pokemon. Oh, thank God it went for Smog. That does tons of damage because of all the X attacks. But a final Psychic wins us the fight. And even though we're incredibly underleveled here, I made that a lot harder for myself than it needed to be because of the switches I was doing. I should have just went for the tanky offensive. But we also pick up TM06, which is Toxic. I actually will be using it in this run, because our very last Pokemon we're going to go and get actually has a very good strategy to use with it. So I am going to use Toxic in this run. Now we can teach Strength over to our Nuke. He's the only Pokemon on our team that can learn it. And we've started to vary out the TM and HMs that we've got. We've got some very good Pokemon, we've got some very good moves. The biggest challenge I'm starting to see in all of these monotype runs though is just trying to figure out which move should go on which Pokemon, because And unlike later generations, you can't actually just continually use a single TN. They are limit one-time use items in earlier generations, meaning that move choice is going to be so much harder than normal. Coming against these cue balls, they're actually a good portion of the game where you can actually go and get a bit of experience. If you're sorely lacking in it like I am with levels, I am only just breaching level 30s, and we need to get up a few more levels before we're going against the next challenges. The next challenges are going to be Rival 5 over in Silphcore, which is going to be a problem because he's got very powerful Pokemon and our Pokemon are only in the early 30s. So in this fight, what we can do, we can beat these cue balls over on the bike path, and we can get our starter Pokemon up to its final form. Bulbafett has become a Venusaur, and we've added another tank to the team. This is a great team, it's shaping up so nicely. And there's only one more addition we can make, but we can only do that after Blaine. Oh no, sorry, after Sabrina. So ideally, let's go beat Rival 5, and then beat Sabrina, and then we can pick up our final team member. So Rival 5 starts off with a Pidgeot, and we're going to lead with Nuke. If we can hit a Hypnosis here, after a Reflect, then we're going to be in a good position. So Reflect increases your defense, and we're just going to go for Psychic, see how much we do. This might be a misplay from me here. Psychic does about half, but Wing Attack will take us down with a crit. That's not a great position to be in because I did need Executor for later in this fight as well. We'll switch into Fleshlight, and Wing Attack does over half damage. So we are going to get this Pidgeot to sleep, and then we'll start taking it down from there. Cut is going to be a free hit KO from this range as well, providing we actually hit, because Cut doesn't have 100% accuracy. It's only got 90 base accuracy. It's a pretty bad move, but we needed the HM. Execute is out next, and we had a real problem with this last time, so we are going to switch into Mushi, meaning we can take advantage of the weaknesses that Execute has. We do get poisoned in the meantime, but 2 Leech Slice take it out, leading us on to the Gyarados. Now the Gyarados is scary. It does have Hydro Pump, it does have Dragon Rage, but as long as you can get it to sleep, it's not too bad of a Pokemon. We're going to switch over into Bulbafett because we want to get Leech Life to take some HP from it. Leech Life takes out 16 for your HP every single turn, so what we can do is we can keep Leech Life in, we can keep it asleep with Sleep Powder, we can Body Slam our way through, and if it wakes up and we use Body Slam, there's a chance of paralysis as well. We have got a very varied team, and this is what I like about Grass Pokemon. They're more utility Pokemon more than anything, really. And what I mean by utility Pokemon, they like status effects. It's like the Poison type, they like inflicting status effects. Leech Life will do big damage on Alakazam because Psychic is weak to Bug, and we are keeping our HP up despite that poison. Alakazam uses a potion, and we take an easy win. That leads us on to the Charizard. So the Charizard is scary. At this point, I don't think it has Flamethrower. No, it still has Ember, which does tons of damage. We hit the Spore, and I think Mushi will probably go down with one more poison. So we're going to switch out to keep it in case we really need to Spore again. We're going to get the Leech Life off, and then just Body Slam for dear life against this Charizard. Please stay asleep, Charizard. Because if you wake up, we have lost. Oh my god, no. No, please tank this Bulbafett. He does. And a final Body Slam. Oh, no, come on, one more Body Slam. Leech Life comes to the rescue in the end. This is why we wanted Leech Life. That chip damage works. I've been doing quite a few grass Pokemon recently. You might have seen the last few months we've done Jumpluff run. We've done the Bellsprout run as well. And you'll find that in a lot of grass Pokemon solo runs, you have to use those utility moves to keep your HP up, because although grass Pokemon have got the likes of Solar Beam, they can't really deal out massive amounts of damage very much. They are more of a chip support Pokemon class. It means that we have to really pick and choose how we go about these fights. It's a lot more tactical than, say, going with a pure fighting type team or pure dragon team where you can just go on the offensive constantly. So, Giovanni's not going to be a problem whatsoever. Our nuke pretty much will just decimate his entire team. Psychic is a fantastic move. It's a good thing we picked up in Saffron earlier on. Because nuke actually can't learn any new moves, it can only learn TM moves after it's evolved. Doesn't learn anything via level up. Have to rely on the TMs. Psychic is such a good move. Psychic type is broken in Gen 1, it really is, isn't it? So we beat Giovanni, and that is Silph Co done, meaning we now can only go one other place, and that is we have to go against Sabrina with a grass type team. Now, considering two of our Pokemon are weak to Psychic type moves, we're going to have to figure out a strategy for this. So I do actually opt to lead with Bulbafett. If we can get a Body Slam off and tank a Psybeam, we're actually in a good position. We unfortunately did not get the paralysis I was hoping for, and Bulbafett goes down pretty easily. Switching to Mushi, and Kadabra goes for Recover, which is great because it means we can get a Spore off, and we can Leech Life our way through. It's going to take 2 Leech Lives to beat this Kadabra. It wakes up, but that is just 1 turn too late. Mushi takes the win, and that brings on to Mr. Mime, who I'm not really worried about whatsoever, apart from the fact it can set up Barrier and Light Screen. So we need to take it out as quick as possible, really. As soon as it's asleep, we Leech Life, and you can see the amount of difference we're doing against this Mr. Mime because of the barrier. So, yeah, unfortunately, this is what we have to deal with. We just set up a Light Screen as well. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Mushi takes 2 wins, and to be fair, out of all of the gym battles so far, Mushi is the one who's won the most fights. It's been the most reliable member on my team. And even when it gets status effect as well, it is still the most reliable Pokemon on my team because of that move Spore. Spore is a fantastic move. It's the only sleep-inducing move that has 100% accuracy. And that is huge, especially for Gen 1. So, when we can finally take down this Venomoth, we're keeping our HP up by using Leech Life. It keeps using Leech Life on us as well. We'll finally be through to that Alakazam. Now, Alakazam is going to be scary. We really don't want to go against it with Fleshlight. So we need to keep Mushi's HP up. Because one Psychic probably will take us out from this range. It goes for a Recover, so it gives us an opportunity to use Spore. And now we can Leech Life our way through to victory. It's going to take how many? It's going to take 3 Leech Lives to get it through, so hopefully Alakazam will stay asleep. Second Leech Life hits, and it's still asleep, meaning we have just won this fight. And that is 6 gym badges. And now we've got probably the hardest gym badge for our type coming up now. Because next up is going to be Blaine. And I'm scared for Blaine. His Arcanine with Fire Blast is terrifying, but we can go back to Pallet Town, we can go to the patch of grass, now we have Surf. And we can pick up our final team member, which is going to be Tangela. Yeah, I've never used a Tangela before. Genuinely never used a Tangela before. And I played a lot of Gen 1 back in the day. So this is going to be interesting. I have no idea how to play Tangela. Let's see how we do. So how should we name this thing? Okay, considering it's got a load of vines, which representative of hair. Rapunzel? Should we call it Rapunzel? Yeah, let's call it Rapunzel. So, with Rapunzel added to the team, we have now actually found every Grass-type Pokemon that we can use on this run. We've got a Lapras there as our HM Mule for Strength and for Surf. And we can now move on to Cinnabar Island. And this is going to be a bit difficult because we've got a massive level curve difference between us and Blaine's Ace at level 47. I don't know why level cap's saying 50 right now, that's just, yeah. We're going to teach a few moves to Rapunzel. We're going to teach it Mega Drain. We're going to teach it Toxic. And is there any more we can teach? Double Edge? Nah, you know what? Double Edge is probably going to be better on Fleshlight. Yeah, because it's got a higher attack than most other Pokemon. So we'll teach that in the place of Stun Spore. I'd rather have sleep-inducing moves than paralysis-inducing moves. I think that's just about it for TMs. We can't learn Earthquake on any of our Pokemon, which is really annoying, so I kind of assume that Executor could learn it, but we're going to teach Self-Destruct as well. So Nuke will learn Self-Destruct. And we're going to get rid of... You know what, we'll get rid of Hypnosis. We've got enough sleep-inducing moves on other Pokemon. Nuke is going to be our hard hitter. Should I teach Psywave? Nah, Psywave sucks. Okay, I think that's it. I think we're ready to go over to Cinnabar Island. Okay, so there's a few Pokemon that we can use. We can beat a lot of trainers on the way to Cinnabar, the Water-type trainers. We finally got Razor Leaf for Fleshlight, and we can upgrade it to a Victory Bell. And we really need to get some levels up. I mean, look at that. We haven't even reached level 40 for any of our Pokemon. So here's a bit of a problem. OBS kind of took a shit on me. And I lost the footage for Blaine, and I lost the footage for Giovanni. Really annoyed at that. But I did manage to get the footage from Rival 6 all the way up to the Elite 4 and Finals. So yeah. Unfortunately, this is what we're going to have to watch right now. We have missed Blaine and we have missed Giovanni, but let's not let that ruin the video. Let's see how we do against Lycandeer. So, we are just in the early 40s and our team are all in the mid 40s. We need to switch around quite a lot to keep our HP up. We want to make sure that we can get Pokemon asleep. And Sleep Power decides to not hit for about 4 or 5 turns in a row. Really annoying, but the Rhyhorn is probably the best Pokemon to get your HP back on. With Leech Life up, we can Spore it, keep it asleep, get our HP back up. And for some reason, about 5 turns in a row, Rhyhorn just keeps waking up on the first turn. I do not know what the stat, what is the likeliness of that? Really annoying. And this is how the whole fight pretty much went. It was very tedious. Very, very tedious. Execute is finally back out. And I'm going to stay in with Mushi. Mushi is definitely our MVP, as the most versatile Pokemon on our team. And we want to make sure we get this Gyarados to sleep. We miss the Leech Seed, which is not good, and Bulb Effect goes down. Rapunzel is out next. And this is the strategy I was thinking of for Toxic. So Rapunzel gets the move Bind, which works pretty much like Wrap. Not anywhere near as good, but while it's poisoned, and it's badly poisoned, it's just going to keep not being able to attack, and we can keep chipping away at it. Meaning it's actually a very good strategy, the Toxic Bind strat. When we get through to the Alakazam, we manage to keep it asleep, but it finally wakes up and uses Recover. Sport, we'll just put it back to sleep once we're not confused. Leech Life does big damage, and he just keeps recovering on with potions and such. Why are you cheating? I can't use potions. Okay, so we're on to the final Pokemon, and this is a problem. If we can get Toxic out onto this Charizard, we can win, but unfortunately Rapunzel is not quick enough, so we bring in Fleshlight. It's still not quick enough, but it manages to tank one Flamethrower, meaning we can get it to sleep and bring in Nuke. Now Nuke is a great Pokemon. We can use Psychic, and there we go, we take the fight. And we can proceed on to the Elite Four. Now the Elite Four starts off with Lorelei. Unless you've been living under a rock and you didn't know that for the last 20 odd years. So, she has water and ice type Pokemon. The ice type is going to be a problem, but with most of them being water type Pokemon, actually puts us in a good scenario. We're just going to have to think about what our lead is going to be, and I opt to go for Nuke. It's got the most physical bulk, and it can tank pretty good hits. So what we want to do is get this Dugong down, hopefully get the Cloyster down in the same vein, and this is why I wanted Nuke out first, because Psychic is such a great move. This brings us on to Slowbro, who can only really use water gun to attack with. So we're going to switch to strength, and he starts using growls, but we do get a few crits here. But growl is just reducing our attack down really bad. Meaning I take the self-destruct just to do a bit more damage, and we move into Rapunzel. We hit the sleep powder straight away, and we Mega Drain to take down the Slowbro. So, that brings up the Jinx. Now, considering we're a pure grass type, Ice will just do super effective damage. Mushi is out next, and unfortunately Jinx one-shots it. Bulba Fett is out next, and we need to do some big damage. We get a body slam crit. That brings us on to Lapras. Now, if Blizzard hits, we lose. We miss with Razor Leaf ourselves. Razor Leaf does big damage, and then Blizzard hits us, but we tank on 20 HP. Meaning we give ourselves another chance to Razor Leaf, and Venusaur. Bulba Fett, our starter, takes us the victory in the very first fight. That brings us on to Bruno. Now, Bruno always starts off with his Onix, and I'm going to see how many of his Pokemon I can knock out with just a Tangela. Hitmonchan is next. We're going to go for Toxic and Bind strats to get our way through. As you can see, because it is badly poisoned, we are doing more and more damage with poison every single turn, and this is why I like this strategy. We can Toxic. Oh, High Jump Kick does a lot of damage, that's not good. Yeah, Rapunzel goes down. So that brings us on to Nuke. And because it's got Psychic, perfect Pokemon for this fight. One shots the Hitmonlee. Onix is out next. One shots the Onix. And that brings us on to the final Pokemon, which is Machamp. One more Psychic, brings us the win. And we can move on to Agatha. Now I'm scared for Agatha. Really scared for Agatha. And we are going to have to lead with Nuke for this. Because we've got Psychic on our moveset, best move to be able to do a lot of damage with. Nightshade does big damage, but we take down the first Gengar without too much problem. Next is Golbat, goes down to one Psychic. Haunter is next, gets in a Nightshade, but Psychic still hits. Through to Arbok. And you know what? I don't know why I was scared. Nuke is a very good Pokemon. We take one more Nightshade before doing big damage with Psychic. She goes for a Super Potion, giving us a chance to win. So that's pretty much every Elite Four member so far done first time. We haven't lost a single fight yet. But Lance is a different matter. He's going to be starting off with his trademark Gyarados. And I'm just going to go for Nuke as well. We're going to set up a Reflect because mostly he is a physical attacking team. Hyper Beam does big damage even with the Reflect up, but he has to recharge, meaning we get a chance to get a few Psychics in. With the Dragonairs coming out, I'm actually going to switch into Rapunzel. We're going to do the Toxic Bind strats. And there's a lot... Ooh, yes, we managed to hit it off. So, this Dragonair will go down pretty easily because of the Bind strat. And we can do the same to this other Dragonair. They only really go for Dragon Rage for some reason. But once we've got them binded, pretty much we are in control until they manage to hit through with a Slam. So we're going to switch into Fleshlight. Razor Leaf doesn't do much damage. Grass type Pokemon are not strong against dragons. And I'm very under level for this fight. Our level cap right now is 62. We're only in level 50s. This brings out Aerodactyl, who is neutral to grass type moves because it is grass flying type. So Razor Leaf actually does do decent damage on it. We get a critical hit. It's actually not effective really. Yeah, okay, we're finally through to the last Dragonite, who we've got an easy win against because of the AI in Gen 1. He has got Psychic type moves on his moveset with Barrier and Agility. Because we are a Grass Poison Pokemon, pretty much he's only going to use them two moves, meaning he will never attack us. We've just got the easiest final battle against a Dragonite ever. And that means Razor Leaf will we'll have to just chip away at him, that's all we can do really. Even with critical hits, it is not doing much damage whatsoever. And after so long, fighting so hard, we are finally through to the champion. Which, of course, if you've not played Pokemon since these early days, is our rival. Lycandeer became the champion before us, meaning we have to challenge them for the title of Best Trainer in Kanto. thankfully the Pidgeot misses and goes for Mirror Move, meaning we can get Spore off straight away. We're going to slash our way through and do as much damage as possible because we want to get that Pidgeot out of the way straight away. Alakazam misses and goes for... we get it to sleep with Spore, meaning Leech Life can... oh, it's only going to go for Recover. Okay, fair enough. Oh no, it goes for... wow, that's a powerful Psychic. Leech Life is definitely the way to go here. We get it back to sleep, and even though it's been recovering its HP so much, actually works in our favour because of Leech Life. We wanted it to get its HP back so we can get back up to full HP ourselves. And next is the Rhydon, so we are going to switch into... should we? Yeah, we'll go for Rapunzel. We have Mega Drain. We're going to go for the Toxic strat still though, because I like this strategy. And I didn't realise how much Mega Drain would actually do there. Brings us on to Executor. Now if we can hit the Toxic Wrap strats here, this works in our favour. We hit it and we start chipping away and Poison does its work. Brings us on to Gyarados, and if we can do the exact same here with Rapunzel, that would be amazing. We hit the Toxic, goes for Dragon Rage, and the strategy continues. Goes for a Hyper Beam, that's not good. Okay, we'll move into Bulbafett. We're going to go for a Body Slam, it doesn't do much. Yeah, we're on to the final Charizard, and this is not looking good really. We need one of these Pokemon. We really need one of these Pokemon to put this Charizard to sleep. He goes for Fire Spin, of all moves. He's got Fire Blast on his moveset, and he goes for Fire Spin. Oh, come on. No, Nuke goes down. We've got 3 Pokemon left. Okay, we need to get a Leech Life off here. Fire Spin still hits. We can't outspeed this Charizard. We're too low leveled for this. Come on, Fleshlight, you can do this. Get a Sleep Out. No, Fire Blast. I think that's it. Oh my god. He missed. But he's walked back up. No, come on. There goes the fight. We were just too low leveled. We weren't speedy enough. Unfortunately, we took a loss, so we had to go back and level up to the mid-50s before trying this again. We start off pretty much the same. Mushi puts him to sleep and then slashes the way through. We're going to see if we can get some HP back from Leech Life here. Those extra levels are definitely helping us out. So, Alakazam will go down to a 3rd Leech Life and we bring out the Rhydon. So I'm going to stay in with Mushi. Pretty much Mushi is just one shot in this entire fight. But I realise I don't have a grass move, so we need to move into Rapunzel. Mega Drain does big damage and takes out the Rhydon in 1. Next up is Executor, and we'll go for the exact same strats as last time. The strategy wasn't wrong. It was just the fact that we were too low leveled and we couldn't outspeed. Getting up those few extra levels are definitely going to make the difference here. Next up is Gyarados. We're going to go for the exact same strats. Toxic, and then bind our way through. Hopefully we can take out this Gyarados before it goes for another Dragon Rage. Oh no, that's not good. Okay, so this is pretty much going exactly the same as the last fight. And we can't put this Gyarados to sleep now. So we're just going to have to use Razor Leaf, take it down, move on to the Charizard. Now I'm scared. Fire Blast does big damage, but Fleshlight tanks it. How does it tank a Fire Blast at this level? We say goodbye to Fleshlight with a double edge. I then switch back into our starter and we body slam our way through to victory. Oh my word, this was a long run. This was definitely a lot longer than the rock type run. But I've had fun. These were some interesting strategies I've not used. And I'm really interested to see what comes up next on the wheel. We've done 2 out of the 15 types in Gen 1. And I'm hoping to bring you out one of these videos every single month. So maybe by this time next year we'll have finished every single type. Or just about finished them. Our Pokemon event at the Hall of Fame. There is Rapunzel, who actually was pretty damn good. I was really surprised of how good Tangler actually was. Fleshlight there. How was YouTube not going to flag me for this? And we take the win. So, as we do with pretty much every video on this channel, At the end, we always decide what we're going to do on the next video. And we do this via the randomiser wheel. So this one is set up to look at the types, different types of Pokemon, and we do a mono-type run after that. So that brings us to the wheel. Let's get this spun. I really want something with a lot more variety to use. I don't know if that's it. Oh god, it's a bug-type mono run in Gen 1. Oh no. This is gonna hurt. If you got to this point in the video, please smash that like and subscribe button, you legends. And we will see you next week with another solo run. And next month with another mono-type run. Take care.